Hemen Kapadia now joins in from KR Choksey. Good afternoon, Hemen. Thank you so much for taking out time for us. What's your view on the market first? Refusing to go down, at the same time refusing to go up as well?
A very good afternoon to you, Pankaj. Thank you for having me on the show. You're right, it doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, but couple of things. We 800 points, 850 points from the low. We seem to have stagnated just a wee bit in the last few trading sessions. 83.15, 83.30, 83.69. There are a whole bunch of resistance levels over here. There is expiry at hand, so I'm not sure if deciphering charts or derivatives will be an easy task. But one gets a feeling that we are due for a 100-200 point correction at least. Because we don't seem to be in a mood to sustain above 8300, and now the intraday mechanical indicators have got negative, have signaled to sell, and I think in the next half an hour, if it starts slipping, like you said, we're slipping a bit over here, 8250, if it breaks, I think we'd probably see some more downside from here.
But is Nifty a short candidate right now, or you would wait for some levels, and if you could share any levels below which you would be confident at least another 100-150 points is yet to go?
I feel that current levels is a short level, but then you would need to be a slightly nimble-footed trader to play such a small move. I think it would be valid for a day or two max, maybe 70-80 points more on the downside. If one were to take things in a slightly more different manner, the important level is 8088, but that is too far off. I don't think one needs to wait for so long. There's another small support level coming in at 8210 as far as the Nifty spot is concerned. I think if that breaks, I think keeping a reasonable stop loss, I think that will be the first indication of a correction setting in. Is this a trend reversal? Too early to take that call. Right now, we are just paying respects to the supply line, which is coming from the all-time high of 9100, drawn top to another intermediate high of 8650 or so.
So what is that level? 8120?
Yeah, I think 8210.
8210, okay. 8210. So about 40 points from here on.
Yes, but that's a spot level, so we correspondingly related to the futures.
Right. What would you look at, say, if the markets are between 8210 and 8300, 8325, where it has been for a while now? Say if we continue to stay on that level for the next 15-20 days, how would things change?
Oh, then I think we'd have to take that as a consolidation and not a distribution, because some of the mechanical indicators have turned positive. Honestly speaking, Pankaj, we're in a very peak one situation in the sense the monthly MACD is given a sell some time back. Okay, that's not a very recent phenomenon. And for that to turn into a buy, it's a slow indicator, it's a lagging indicator, but it's a relatively stable indicator. For that to signal a buy so fast, it normally takes around 12, 15, maybe even 18 months. And we're not even on the 12th month yet. So one gets a feeling that somehow this still seems to be a corrective wave. The bull market on the longer term is very much intact. I don't think that's the question over here. But in the medium term, I think we might still go to 8700 and come down again, because this is going to take some time to unravel.
Right. And till where can we go down?
See, 8088 was the intermediate low, Pankaj. If that cracks, maybe not now, even a month down the line, then I think first indication of a possible, this like we spoke, which this might be a possible accumulation, for this to turn into a distribution, followed by 8088. I think 7940 is a level to watch out for. That cracks, I think then there's going to be alarm bells ringing actually.
Right. Bank Nifty, what's your view? Then we can go down to some names as well.
Bank Nifty is honestly speaking in a similar situation, but the thing is we have seen relative weakness in the Bank Nifty. I wouldn't term it as weakness.
Actually, but since the time the rate cut has happened, Bank Nifty has been weak, right?
Yes, it hasn't slipped or broken any level, but Pankaj, normally we're used to the Bank Nifty being high beta, outperforming the market, leading the market up or down, whatever the case may be. But in this case, the markets have done reasonably well without too much of support from it's not that the banks haven't moved, but not the way they used to. And if Bank Nifty is taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's taken 8 weeks, Pankaj, to go up. So, and after 8 weeks, the progress hasn't been much. And like you said, after the rate cut, I thought that would have sort of galvanized the Bank Nifty and done wonders. No, we still can't overcome 18,000 or 18,200 in the Bank Nifty spot. So I think the same view applies for the Bank Nifty, what we apply for the Nifty. Monthly MACD sell, I'd be reticent about getting too bullish.
Right. Let's talk about some names. Can you talk about SKS Microfinance? I was just looking at it. It's at the day's low, 408. Very strong set of numbers and a big reversal from 470.
I think the strong set of numbers were already built in when it moved from 372 to 470 in Pankaj only some 12 or 14 trading sessions. Once again, we have a similar situation where the monthly MACD is giving us sell Pankaj after 3 years, which is significant enough to not ignore. We don't have too much of data to take a 5-10 year call, and since we don't have that much of data to go back to. But yes, we were in an intermediate correction. We came up from 580-600 to sub 380. We saw a bounce back which didn't sustain. Now for this bounce back to continue further, okay, now we are going on the other side, but we need to take out 480, which seems like a far cry. So the simple logic applied is we saw a pullback, a retracement which didn't sustain, and now we are coming back to test the earlier bottom. If we break that, okay, then there's a further downside. Otherwise, we could stabilize over here.
So at these levels, it's in a no trade zone.
Yeah, it's in a no trade zone.
Right. What would you make of Axis Bank results tomorrow? We were just talking about Bank Nifty, lackluster move over there. After IndusInd Bank, this will be the first private company to declare numbers. IndusInd doesn't have so much trading, so probably this should give us a better direction.
We've been range bound between 485 and 535 without any clear bias on either side. In terms of the bigger picture, Pankaj, we spent 4 weeks correcting and consolidating. The weekly picture is turning bullish, but 535 was the range, 540 is the weekly resistance level. So I don't have a very clear view in the sense we are in the midst of a bounce back which is very clearly apparent. Neither levels on the upside and the downside have been breached decisively enough to take a call. I know 485 and 535 is a rather large range, but we have been in this range, Pankaj, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's a 6th week running.
Right. What would you do of BHEL? It's not responded to the rally or not performed in the rally so far, but in the last few days, it's inched up to 220.
Actually, like I said, if L&T bounces, I'm not sure if that's fair to compare it, but if L&T bounces, BHEL should have been in the range of 235, 240. That's not happened. 290, and we saw declined to almost 192. Even a 50% retracement of this comes to around 240, which has not yet happened. Having said that, if we sustain above 205, which is near-term support, and we take out 220, maybe this bounce back gets a little bit more acute and we see it go to maybe 230, 235. But as of now, it seems like a bounce back and nothing more.
Right. Bajaj Auto on the day of results did not do much. There's been an upgrade coming in from CLSA. I know it's not a very good volume or a good price discovery method that we can use technicals, but what does it tell you? Currently also, we are at the day's high.
Oh, the picture which was corrective moving sideways now seems to have acquired a positive bias. We've seen volumes pick up in the last trading week. This is higher than the last 7 trading weeks. So that I think is significant enough for us to sit up and take notice. There is an upward bias. I'm not sure how much of an upside there is. All-time highs come in at around 2650 first and then 2680. So there is just 100 points of an upside from that point of view. We saw upward bar reversal coming in last week. Simply put, we are in an intermediate uptrend and we could go to 2650 or 2680.
But that's the max. You don't see a very big move coming in. Or after that, we'll take a call again.
To be honest, Pankaj, I'm not sure about that. We will have to take a call on how the situations are at that point in time. But if we take out 2700 for whatever reason and sustain, then that could be setting the stage for a 1000-point rally. But currently, I think that it's a bit far away for that to take that.
And a Hero, I think that's not about 100-200 rupees away from the high. It's about 600 rupees away from the high.
Yes, Hero has made a base at 2250, which now should hold for a medium to longer term point of view. And for Hero, the corresponding level is around 2800. So we are still almost 180-200 points away from that. 2500 is important from the near term point of view. We are comfortably above that, but we need to sustain. So 2750, 2800. Once again, we are in an intermediate uptrend. We've seen a higher top, higher bottom on the weekly chart. The indicators have supported after giving positive divergences. So 2750, 2800 is what I see. If we take out 2800 and sustain, then we look at another 300-400 points of an upside.
But as of now, again, it's in a no trade zone, not like Bajaj. Or between the two, whom would you be more positive?
Bajaj seems to be apparently stronger.
Right, Bajaj would be your favorite pick. Some bounce in Vedanta, Tata Steel. We've spoken about it earlier. Now are you seeing a meaningful sustained move? You think that after maybe testing the lows again, they can, you can be confirmed that the recovery has happened?
Vedanta is too nascent from that point of view, Pankaj. But yes, I think from a near-term point of view, I don't see too much of downside below 98 or so. There is decent support coming in over there. In fact, Vedanta might surprise by going up to 110 or 15 in the near term. Coming back to Tata Steel, it's slightly different than Vedanta in the sense it's gone up one way. But from a longer-term point of view, first time in a long time, Tata Steel seems to suggest positivity technically. On a decline after this, whenever that happens, we've been posting lower top, lower bottoms for 16 months, Pankaj, for Tata Steel. This time around, if you don't do that, I guess things would change for the better.
Hemen, what would you make of say a name like Asian Paints? Generally never falls. Today is down 4.6 odd % after the results. You think it's a buying opportunity? Continues to be one of the big names that you would want to own on every decline?
Yeah, but I think one can wait a wee bit more, Pankaj. Like you said, it's one of those stocks which doesn't go down much. But we saw base come in at 780, 850. We give a breakout from there. And now we've slipped back below 850. So if it doesn't stop at 830, we broke an 830 also. I think one would wait till 780, 790 before going long.
Right, but generally these names never fall. When they fall, what's the sort of correction that you see? 15%, 20%, any HUL, ITC, any example if you have?
HUL, when it corrected huge, Pankaj. It corrected huge multiple years. And after that, we've been in a uptrend again. So Colgate corrected for 8 years. It gave a 50%, more than 50% correction. But I don't remember seeing, I think way back in 2007-8 where was Asian Paints gave a very big correction. But otherwise, you're right, nothing much beyond 15%, Pankaj.
Right, so a 15-20% fall should be a decent buying opportunity.
I think so. Combined with some support levels. Currently, that level is at 780 from a near-term point of view. From a medium-term point of view, that corresponding level would be around 690, Pankaj.
Right. What would be your view on HDFC, Housing Finance Development? We just heard the management, they declared numbers. Again, it's a name that doesn't fall on numbers, but today it's down 2 odd %.
It doesn't follow normal technically applied criteria, Pankaj, like you said.
Why it always goes up?
Yeah, in the sense that the corrections also are not, the retracements are, it is the bare minimum. You don't see the normal 50% or 75% retracements. They don't even come to 38.2. It comes roughly between 25 and 33%. So the normal criteria don't work. But yes, currently I believe it's in a no trade zone. 1100 to 1400 we've been bouncing around in this range for 8.5 months, Pankaj, and we've gone nowhere. So if we come closer to the lower boundary of the range, I think then one would make it interesting, or we buy it on a breakout above 1400.
So as of now, just avoid it.
Just avoid.
Right. Another results impact, United Phosphorus Limited. How do you look at that one? It's down 3%, but I think it's down about 120 rupees from the highest that it hit this year.
We saw a downward key reversal coming in the last week itself, Pankaj. The bigger picture is now slightly shaky in the sense, following this indicator called MACD, it gave a buy somewhere in 2012 mid, Pankaj. Now it's on the verge of giving a sell. The month is not yet over. We're in the last week of the month. Assuming these levels close on Friday or the end of the month, that would mean a sell on the monthly chart, which obviously does not augur well when it gives a sell after 3 years. One would tend to respect that. Long-term uptrend being intact, I think we walked into a correction of a greater degree. This might take, normally it should take 1.5 years. I'm not sure if we're going to take that long, but anything between 9 to 12 months is what I feel. A small downward bias, we've been down for multiple months from the high already, Pankaj, but yes, there should be some more price erosion before it bounces back.
Right. What would be your view on Z? After the results, it's looked quite strong. Today is the first time it's given a decent correction.
All-time high, so no known resistance levels, but it's distinctly and clearly overbought. Sorry. No, there is the all-time high. We walked into resistance. I didn't notice this, but this all-time high was posted in 99-2000, Pankaj. So we've come back to test the all-time high after almost 15 years. And we are paying respects to that. We are very clearly and distinctly in a long-term uptrend. Currently, also distinctly overbought. So we walked into a correction. We'll just have to wait and see whether it sustains above 420 or no. If it slips below 420, I think then one needs to sit back and wait for it to play out a bit.
Right. Sir, thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon. Hope you have a great day.